discuss what is the important diagnostic tool for HIV. Basically, beta, in infectious disease module, all the topic are very important because these diseases are very common in Pakistan. So everyone should know at least the major and important test for HIV diagnosis. As you start practicing in a clinical practice, in the clinical setting, so you should be aware about the HIV spread, HIV diagnosis, and how to make a proper diagnosis and to whom you report if you have received an HIV positive patient. So today's learning objective is identify the basic screening test for HIV, which is commonly performed in the screening laboratories as well as in the emergency department. And then there are certain, if on a screening test the patient have showing the positivity, then go for the specific test for HIV. And then there are some tests which are related to the patient follow-up to see the viremia, the viral load and the therapeutic response of the patient to any antiviral drug. So there are a list of tests which are further classified. Either they are the non-specific tests, but they have directly or indirectly impact on the HIV infection. And there are some specific tests which have directly correlate with the diagnosis of the HIV, prognosis of the HIV, and the follow-up of the HIV infection. Because it's a chronic disease and its window period is very become in the years, and the patient may present after 10 years, and the patient may have the subclinical infection, and the patient directly present with the AIDS, immunocompromised syndrome, or the patient may present with the HIV complication. So there are certain non-specific tests which we are performing routinely, and if there is a disturbance in these non-specific tests, you should think about the HIV testing. So if there is TLC count is disturbed and the leukocyte count is reduced, and then directly go if there is no acute inflammation, and if there is no chronic morbid or the chronic inflammation or the chronic disease, and there is still decreased TLC count, then you should think about the HIV. Then how you will confirm? Then go for the directly T lymphocyte subset assay. It is quite expensive. So if you are feeling or you are observing that is the TLC count is decreased, there is no hemoglobinopathy or there is no blood cell abnormalities, and there is no acute and chronic inflammation, and still the count is very low, then go for the T lymphocyte subset assay. And by doing this, you can be justify the reduced count of CD4 T cells. Then again, if there is reduced platelet count and there is no platelet abnormality, you should think about the HIV. And if there is non-specific IgG and IgA level increased, then you should think about the non-HIV. And if you can perform the skin test for the activated T cells, which may be performed for many diseases, but the test is negative, means there is no immune response of the CD4 positive T cells, then directly think about HIV. After this non-specific test, you can go for a specific test for diagnosis of HIV infection. The specific, most common specific test which we are performing in our routine practice is the antigen detection. That is a P24 antigen. This is done by the Western blot, or it can be done by the modernized technique of the immunoassays. Then we can go for the viral isolation in the patient sample, number of the virus infected cells, which is basically the T lymphocytes, or we can be able to detect the viral nucleic acid by PCR. And the most commonly routine practice, we are performing the ELISA for the detection of specific antibodies against HIV infection. So in routine, for the screening purpose and for the diagnostic purpose, initially we are performing the antibodies detection. Then we are going for the nucleic acid, goes from down to upward. Initially, we are doing the antibodies detection. Then we for confirmation of our test for antibody detection, we can perform the Western blot test, or we can go for the PCR. For after completing the 3 test batteries, then we are able to diagnose the case of HIV. So WHO provided, these are guidelines provided in the December 2019, and there is no update of HIV due to COVID situation in 2020, but they providing the new guideline or the testing services or consolidated guideline for the HIV patient, how to screen an HIV patient, how to follow an HIV patient, and how to follow the in prognosis case of HIV patient. So these guideline is available on your WhatsApp. So if you are interested for the latest update and the guideline and latest the current situation of HIV, you can be download the app, and they are continuously sending you the new guideline in the PDF form as well as the new guideline for the diagnosis. If you are interested, and you can download the app of the WHO information, which give you the latest information, latest morbidity, mortality index, and latest epidemiological status of the HIV. So these new guidelines will show the guideline for the diagnosis, guideline for the treatment, how will you manage the infants, how will you manage the pregnant ladies, what are the diagnostic tools, and how will you do the screening in a large scale, and what is the screening in a small group. So basically the WHO provided the background knowledge of in the software. They are providing the background knowledge of the changing epidemics. Initially it is an epidemic disease, but then they are saying that this is the epidemic disease of the concentrated areas. But now these HIV infection are the epidemic diseases throughout the world. So they change their guideline to diagnose and to follow up the patient, and there are new ways to assess the WHO guideline. So coming to the guideline, I'm not going to emphasize what are the epidemics of these HIV infection, but these are some epidemiological status of HIV cases in a glance. These are the calculation of 2000 up to the 2018, and it is published in 2019. So basically they classify, they follow the 8.1 million people are the people living in the HIV remain undiagnosed globally. So these data is mostly from the South Africa, and then further classify the African region. But there is some little bit sharing of the data which is received from the Asian countries and especially from the India, because we are not having a specific data against HIV, but as the India is the we are belonging to the subcontinental of the India, so approximately we have the same cases as in India. So they further classify the patient. Blue bar is the patient which are living in the HIV but they are diagnosed, and the patient, the red bar is the patient which is living in the HIV diagnosed and on anti-viral treatment therapy, and then patient which are diagnosed and living in the patient HIV positivity and treatment, and they are showing the suppression of the virus. If we compare both the male and female, the male are mostly having the HIV positivity, but there may be some religious and the tribes which may be unfollow the women's, but the data shows that the men are more as compared to the female, and approximately 2 billion people are undiagnosed. Male population is undiagnosed worldwide, and only the 1.2 billion people are screened by the HIV screening test, but still they are not short diagnosed to a reactive case of HIV. That's why it is continuously spreading throughout the world. And this is a little sharing of our Asia and Pacific, but the data is very little as compared to the Western world, and we are sharing only the 8% of the data. of our population, and the Western world and the African world showing the most of the data of HIV diagnosed, screening, as well as the follow-up patients. So the WHO gave the new guideline, and these are all available on the your gadget, means it is available on the WhatsApp data, and you can be download the HIV diagnostic tools and update and new social based approach and how to self testing of HIV, and these are all present on your mobile apps. Previously, we are considering that there is a generalized concentrated epidemic, means there is a high burden of HIV that is greater than the 5% of positivity will consider that location as a concentrated epidemic or at that area. But now the concentration of the patient is low, that is less than the 5%, but still it is epidemic throughout the world. So this term is obsolete, that these areas are very prone to have the more cases of HIV, and some areas are low cases of HIV. But now the HIV is equally distributed throughout the world. But the diagnostic facilities is not so much implemented. That's why we are dividing the category, the well-diagnosed patient as well as the poorly diagnosed patient throughout the world. So how we will decided to which patient we can go for with test. So the specific test is further classified according to the need in the window period, acute infection, asymptomatic infection, and then the complication of HIV. So in the window period, the patient may have the short contact with the HIV diagnosed patient. So we can directly go for the PCR. So it have a positivity, or we can go for the PCR in the acute phase, but there is no role of the PCR in asymptomatic patient, and in the PCR is positive in immunocompromised or autoimmune disease, means acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Then in the window period, there is no sign and symptom. The patient have the disease, so there is the virus in the circulation though. So the virus isolation is very important. And in acute, there is a 50% chances of the positivity of the viral isolation, but the viral isolation is 100% positive in AIDS. But the ELISA have the positivity only because in the window period there is the viral isolation in the circulation, and there is no specific antibodies in the window period. But after the window period, the patient have the specific antibodies against the viral protein. So in acute phase, in asymptomatic phase, as well as in the AIDS, the ELISA is positive for specific antibodies against HIV. Then finally, the Western blot test is also detecting the specific antibodies and specific protein against the virus. So it is have the more specific in acute infection, asymptomatic infection, and AIDS patient. And there is a less specific role of the Western blot test in the window period. So that's why if a patient is coming in the window period, and if the HIV positive mother give a birth to a baby, so we can go, because the baby have the 90% chances of infection, so we can go for the window, we can consider the baby in a window period. So we can go for the direct PCR, viral isolation, we can go for the Western blot. But if a mother is neglected, and if a pregnant lady have diagnosed a case of HIV positivity and the partner is also positive and partner have the source of infection, so we directly go for an acute infection. So we can go for the PCR, we can go for the viral isolation, we can go for the ELISA, and finally we can go for the Western blot test. So if someone asks what are the screening tests and what are the supplement tests to confirm your diagnosis. In screening test, we are performing the ELISA. In screening test, we can performing the rapid immunoblot test, and which is well known as the rapid test, which is well known as the ICT method, and this is also known as a simple test to diagnose or to screen an HIV patient. Then go for the specific test which confirm our diagnosis of the screening positive test. We can go for the directly with the Western blot test, we can go directly for the indirect immunofluorescence test or the radioimmunoassay, or in generally we can say we can directly go for the PCR and we can go for the ELISA. So this is the review of your HIV virus. The HIV virus have further classified HIV-1 virus and HIV-2 virus. In Pakistan, we have both type of strain, HIV-1 and HIV-2. That's why we are going for the combo test. Combo means combination of the HIV-1 and HIV-2. Then HIV-1 further classify according to their subspecies. They further classify the group M, group N, and group O. And then the group M, N, and O, in which the group M is further classified according to the mutation of the protein as well as the mutation in the reverse transcriptase as well as the mutation of the protein for the replication of the virus. So there are two types, HIV 1 and 2, and further divided into three main groups. And then the HIV 1 subtype C is the most common type present in the India, South Africa and China. That's mean the HIV-1 subtype C is common in Pakistan as well. And HIV-2 is also common. Not the other group is very common, or we have not a facility to isolate the other species of HIV here in Pakistan. So what is the basic objective for HIV testing? Why we are testing for HIV? Because we want to be the safe blood transfusion. So we should perform the HIV in all the blood transfusion samples. It is mandatory because we can be transmit the disease from one blood donor to the blood recipient and from the recipient to again the blood donor. So it is necessary to stop or to break the chain of disease spread. Second, we are performing screening of sperm transplant or screening of the organ transplant and screening for the tissue donor, because these all can be the culprit for the HIV transmission in a non-HIV positive patient. Then we can make a diagnosis of HIV infection in clinically suspected cases to stop the chain of transmission and to diagnose the case and to follow up the patient. Then voluntarily testing after counseling to calculate or to rule out the undiagnosed or subclinical cases in a community. Then for the epidemiological surveillance using the unlike anonymous HIV testing, testing of HIV in any pharmaceutical company, or testing of HIV in clinical setting, or testing of HIV in paramedical staff. These are done for the epidemiologically service, or sometimes we can perform the HIV for our research purpose. So what are the challenges which we are obtaining from our goal or from our object? By doing these all objectives, we are able to early detection of seroconversion phase of HIV, so we can be treated better in a better way. Early detection of the HIV in infant, both to HIV positive mother, and we can be treat the infant and we know the outcome of these infant, and the patient is properly prepared for the outcome and the consequences of HIV infection. Effect of the HIV subtypes on the test performance. So we can be predict the subtypes of HIV most prevalent in our area, and impact of the other health condition on test performance. So we can be follow the complications and the comorbids of the HIV, and we can be produce the product specific equipment used for the HIV positive patient, and we have using the specific bed in the hospital for HIV patient, and we have a specific bed in the ICUs for HIV present patient to prevent the or to break the disease chain. And it will improve, finally, it will improve our technical skills. So the basic test which we are performing, the antigen detection, which is the infection, especially the P24 by the RT-PCR within the 2 weeks, or we can be detect these P24 antigen earlier as a viral marker appear in the blood. and we can be detecting a specific IgM antibodies against the P24. So this is the basic test. Whenever we are asking what is the first test you perform to detect an HIV case, so you should directly go, we are detecting the antigen P24 or we are detecting the IgM against P24 antigen within 4 to 6 weeks, followed by the IgG specific to P24. That's why this slide is very important for your BCQs as well as for your Viva. So there are types of tests or diagnostic tests which is classified according to the establishment of the disease. We can detect the antibodies, which is the most common test, or we can be detecting the polymerase chain. We can be performing the reverse transcriptase, which is basically the RNA sequence, or we can be go directly for the P24 antigen, which is a complex protein, which is known further for the fourth generation detection of antibody detection. So in laboratory, greater than the 18 months, we are follow the protocol. We are directly detect the antibodies against HIV-1 and HIV-2 by doing the rapid test, by doing the ELISA, and by doing the Western blot. If a patient shows positivity with the rapid test, with the immunoblot test, then go for the ELISA. And if the patient is continuously showing positivity, still we are not issuing the report of the HIV, then go for the Western blot test. By confirming the Western blot test, by receiving the 3 reports, we are confirming our diagnosis that patient is positive to HIV-1 or HIV-2. And in the molecular level, we can go for directly for the viral product, or we can be detecting the P24 antigen detection, or we can be doing the DNA PCR for viral nucleic acid, or we can go for the RNA, which is the basically the enzyme is the reverse transcriptase, which can be detected by the PCR. So immunoassays we previously known as the enzyme immunoassay, but now these immunoassay is well known in ELISA. So there is no difference in the ELISA and immunoassays. So we are using basically the technique, different type of technique we are using. So we further classify the detection of the antigen or antibody according to the generations. Means the sensitivity and specificity of the test is increased with the generation or with the time. So initially, the first generation means we are using to detect the antigen by ELISA, but there is the sensitivity and specificity is very low. So we can be miss the sample. So we improve our diagnostic facility and we improve the recombinant protein for diagnosis of the basically it's a P24. So improve our diagnostic tool. So it improve our sensitivity but not the specificity. Then with that time, there is a third generation of antigen antibody detection test. Then we more emphasize our protein, detecting protein by doing a sandwich technique, by which we are improving the sensitivity and specificity of IgM and IgG, and it increase the detection of HIV-1 and HIV-2 simultaneously in a single test. So it is known as the sandwich technique, and in the laboratory we are saying it's the third generation technique. Then furthermore, still we are unable to detect the antibodies or the antigen in a window period. Then we improve our testing facility by doing the test, and these improved tests is known as generation 4 test, in which we are able to detect both the antigen as well as the antibodies specific to these antigen. Means we improve the 3 parameter in a single test. So it is known as the generation 4 antibodies or antigen detection test. So what is the basic principle? We are using the 90 well plate, in which the well is in previously the well is preformed with the impregnant with the HIV coated well or the HIV antigen. Then we are the basic protocol are our interest is to isolate the antibodies in the patient serum. So we have the commercially based antigen coated platelet, and we are interested to diagnose the HIV antibodies in the patient serum. So we are adding the patient serum in the well plate, and then we are using the anti-human enzyme, the antibodies against these antibodies means we have the secondary antibodies against these antibodies. So these are known as the anti-human enzyme conjugate, HRP. So mostly we are using the HRP, which bound to these specific antibodies, and it make a conjugation. Then we are using the chromogen substrate, and it give a color in the well plate, and these color intensity is read by the enzyme ELISA reader. So this is the basic principle in generation 1. But with the improvement of the generation, these technique is all modified to give a highly sensitive and specific test against HIV-1 and HIV-2 antibodies, as well as the P24 antigen also. So this is improved by indirect ELISA, that we are using the fluorescent substrate which is directly conjugated with the antibodies antigen complex, and it give a more fluorescent light as compared to the previous one. Then it's further improved by competitive ELISA, means there is a competition or there is a race between a specific antibodies and the conjugate and the substrate to a specific antigen. So there is competition, so it is known as the competitor. So it improve the sensitivity of the test. Then the fourth one is the sandwich technique, means there is a sandwich technique, means there is an antigen, there is an antibody. These reaction will be labeled with the enzyme antigen, and enzyme antigen is capacity to bind with the substrate. So it is highly specific to the specific antibodies. So it gives the 90% of the sensitivity and 99% of the specificity to the test against the ELISA. So it is known as the sandwich technique, and it appear in the 4th generation. So there is a chances of the false positivity. You should think about the other diseases which may appear the false positivity and false negativity of the test. So other diseases of the autoimmune parameters may have a false positive chance. Alcoholic hepatitis is resembled to the HIV, so it can be give the false positivity. Primary biliary cirrhosis have a positivity, and leprosy and multiple pregnancy may have a non-specific antibodies which may mimic to the HIV antibodies. And the chances of the negativity is that there may be the technical error, or the patient may in the window period, or there may be the not at the end stage disease, means the antibody titer is very low, so the patient may have the false negativity chances. This is the ELISA plate which we are performing in our routine practice, and the yellow color is the color intensity is read by the ELISA reader, and this color intensity is calculated to give a quantitative measurement of the IgG or IgM or the P24 antigen in an ELISA plate. So we can be calculated the number of antibody or number of the antigen in the patient serum. So coming to the rapid anti-HIV testing, which we are basically performing in our camp, and we are performing in our OPD setting, and sometimes we are performing these rapid tests in blood collection techniques, means in blood banking. But now these rapid anti-HIV tests are obsolete in the blood banking, but still it is present in Pakistan, as we are not affordable with the specific test for HIV detection in the blood donor setting. So it's a basically immunoconcentrate immunoblot assay. There are different types of immune blot assay, but most commonly we are using the sample run by the whole serum, or we can be used directly by the plasma, or we are performing with the serum or with the body other fluids. So it is easy to perform, and its accuracy is not 100%, but at least we have an idea to diagnose a case of HIV. So there are certain advantages, because it is easy to carry and it is maintained at the room temperature. there is no technical error is very limited amount, and but there is a disadvantage. It may have chances of error. It's a limited endpoint stability of the test, and there may be the quality assurance is difficult to assure a quality. So basic technique is, it's a immunoblot test, means it containing a blotting paper which is impregnant with the antigen against antigen of HIV antigen, and this is known as the cassette technique, and it have the holes for the patient serum. We directly place the patient blood by needle prick directly 3 drops in a patient sample. Then in well 1, which is labeled with the HIV-1, and well 2 is labeled with the HIV-2, and well 3 is for the control. So we are placing the chromogenic dye in the these 3 wells, and the positivity will read after 5 minutes. So if patient is HIV-1 positive, means the control should be positive and HIV-1 well should be positive. If the patient is HIV-2 positive, means the patient control well should be positive, as well as the sample for HIV-2 well should be positive. If patient is non-reactive, means only the control well should be positive, and if there is no reaction in the control well and HIV-1 and 2 well is positive, means there is an error in the patient sampling. And the other technique which we are using, it's also an immunoblot technique, but it is known as the cassette test, which we are performing normally in our blood banking, and it also containing the sample well, means here we are placing the patient sample, it run vertically, and the patient sample run here, and it means it is a reaction against the HIV-1 line, it is HIV-2, and it is the control line, means the patient is positive for HIV-1 and 2, it is the positive of HIV-1, it is only the negative patient because the control is present, it is the positive of HIV-2, and these are the invalid sample because there is no control line, and this is also the invalid sample because there is no control line. The sample should be repeated. So coming to the combo, we are using combo in Pakistan, means the combination of HIV-1 and 2. Means we are able to detect the HIV-1 and HIV-2 in the same time, as well as sometime we can be able to detect the P24, in which we are using the ELISA technique, and we are easily using the samples. The non-specific test including the TLC count, and we can go for directly the CD4 T cell count, or we can directly go for the thrombocytopenia or raised non-specific IgG and IgA, or we can be directly perform the cell-mediated immune response by doing the skin test, and we can be perform the lymphocyte count in the lymph nodes by performing the biopsy to rule out the other abnormality related to the lymphocytes. And these are the diagram or the graphic presentation of the T cell count, especially the CD4 with the disease. So whenever the disease is improving and disease in the opportunistic infection and towards the improving with the sign and symptoms, so there is decrease in the CD4 count cell reduced. Coming to the most important is the Western blot test. Basically, the Western blot test is the detection of the antibodies as well as the specific antigen, that is a protein, in by electrophoretic technique, which is highly specific by doing polyacrylic gel electrophoresis, and the transfer of these polyacrylic gel electrophoresis diagnosis on a nitrocellulose gel to give a snapshot for detection of or to confirm the HIV diagnosis. So we can be detect directly the IgG, IgM, and we can be perform the different protein structure present on the envelope protein. We can be detect the P24, P31, the glycoprotein 41, glycoprotein 120, and the glycoprotein 160. So we can be detect these all protein in a single point time, and we can be detect the gene, 3 genes, especially the GAG gene, POL gene, and ENV envelope gene on the Western blot test, as well as we can be detect the P24 gene, we can be detect the glycoprotein 41 gene, we can be detect the glycoprotein 120 and 160 gene at a point time. So it's a highly specific, it's 100% sensitive and specific to confirm the diagnosis. So whenever we are asking what is the final diagnostic tool to detect the HIV test, your answer should be the Western blot test. So we can be able to detect the protein as well as we can be able to detect the gene. So we can be detect different proteins, we can be detect the glycoprotein, and we can be detect the different molecular weight, the gene which code for the protein to these HIV protein. So we can be detect in HIV, we can be detect the envelope protein, especially the G160, glycoprotein 120, glycoprotein 41. Same vice versa, we can be detect the Pol and the GAG gene. You can be read from my slide. So this is the real picture. After reading these bands by electrophoresis, we can transfer these band on the nitrocellulose gel. This is the picture of the nitrocellulose gel. This is the negative control, this is the positive control, and these are the patient sample. These are the patient sample 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these are the markers which run. So we can be compare our patient sample with the positive control. So these initially first sample is negative, then there is positive, that is the positive of the P24 as well as the positive with the P40. Then this is the highly positive, it's showing the molecular weight, downward, upward to downward is a molecular weight, and we can be detect a single point time, we can be detect up to the 10 sample in a single Western blot technique, cascade. So the coming to the next most important test is the nucleic acid detection. So we can be perform the PCR or the DNA detection and RNA detection. Please do not confuse the HIV is a RNA based virus, but when it implement or when it is integrated with the human DNA, so it is producing their DNA copy. So we can be able to detect the DNA copy of these HIV virus, and we can be easily detect the RNA, which is originally the RNA protein or the RNA gene sequence of the HIV virus. So it is the 90 to 100% sensitivity of these PCR, which is the RT-PCR in 4 to 6 weeks, and it is 99.3% sensitive and 96% specific of the traditional HIV PCR. The NOCO is the first choice of the diagnosis is HIV infection in our setting. NOCO is the technique by which we are detecting the HIV by PCR. So it's a journalized flow diagram how we were performing the HIV infection. What are the steps of PCR? We are extracting the DNA and denature the template of the DNA, which is integrated with the human DNA molecule. Then we making the annealing of these primers or two templates, and then we synthesize the complementary strand of these DNA. Then we multiply the copy of the template DNA and potentially double the DNA sequence in each cycle, then amplify the template and detect the number of base pair present in the patient sample. So it is a quantitative as well as the qualitative detection of the viral load in the human sample. So we can be directly go for the viral load in the patient sample for the accuracy or to follow up the antiviral therapy to monitor the response of antiviral drugs, but it is quite expensive, it's a labor intensive, and it requires a special facility, but these facilities are also available in a Pakistan setup. This is the last slide. Any question you can be asked? Okay. अच्छा जी. बेटा if you have any query. अच्छा जी. बेटा कोई इशू है तो बताएं. चैट ऑन. अच्छा जी. इनडायरेक्ट मेथड ऑफ ELISA। बेटा इनडायरेक्ट इनिशियली बेसिकली ये होता था कि वी आर नॉट एबल टू डिटेक्ट द डायरेक्ट बाइंडिंग ऑफ antigen and antibodies, so we are using some fluorescent material to bind these antigen antibody complex. This is the basic principle of ELISA. So we are using the antibodies against these antibodies. समझ में आ रही है आपको? बात ये है कि ह्यूमन के अंदर एंटीबॉडीज मौजूद है, हम वो क्या करते हैं, उस एंटीबॉडी को डिटेक्ट करते हैं और उस एंटीबॉडीज को किसी और एनिमल के अंदर एज एन एंटीजन इंट्रोड्यूस कर देते हैं। तो वो जो सेकेंडरी एनिमल होता है वो क्या करता है, एंटीबॉडीज अगेंस्ट दीज एंटीबॉडीज बन जाती है, तो इसको हम कहते हैं सेकेंडरी एंटीबॉडीज। तो ये सेकेंडरी एंटीबॉडीज जो होती हैं वो हाईली स्पेसिफिक होती हैं अगेंस्ट द HIV एंटीबॉडीज। हम क्या करते हैं, एंटीजन एंटीबॉडीज को यानी एंटीजन अगेंस्ट द HIV एंटीबॉडीज टू द HIV को उनको रिएक्ट कराते हैं। अब वो जो एंटीबॉडीज एंटीजन का कॉम्प्लेक्स बन जाता है उसके ऊपर हम क्या कराते हैं, HRT कहते हैं, ह्यूमन एंटीबॉडी इम्यूनोग्लोबिन एंटीबॉडीज होती है, वो बाइंड कर देती हैं। अब वो जो है वो हमने कमर्शियली प्रिपेयर करी है किसी और एनिमल में, तो उसके ऊपर हम फ्लोरेसेंट डाई का सबस्ट्रेट बाइंड हुआ होता है, तो जैसे ही हम उसको ऐड करते हैं विद द डिफरेंट स्टेप, तो वो बाइंडिंग को और स्ट्रॉन्ग कर देता है और वो डिटेक्ट भी कर लेता है कि पेशेंट के सीरम में कहाँ पे एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी का कॉम्प्लेक्स बना हुआ है। उसके बाद हम क्या करते हैं, उसके अंदर जो कलरिंग सबस्ट्रेट डालते हैं तो वो फ्लोरेसेंट प्रोड्यूस कर देता है, यानी कलर प्रोड्यूस करता है, क्रोमोजेनिक डाई को प्रोड्यूस करता है, तो हम उसको डिटेक्ट कर रहे होते हैं इसके साथ। और कोई क्वेश्चन है बेटा? व्हाट इज द रैपिड टेस्ट और द सिमिंग? बेटा रैपिड टेस्ट इसको कहते हैं जिसमें टाइम कंज्यूमिंग नहीं है, इम्यूनोब्लॉट टेक्निक है। इम्यूनोब्लॉट टेक्निक में क्या होता है, ब्लॉटिंग पेपर होता है। ब्लॉटिंग पेपर बेसिकली एक फिल्टर पेपर होता है जो कि ब्लॉट करता है, यानी जैसे टिश्यू होता है एब्जॉर्बेंस करता है, इसी तरह का एक ब्लॉट पेपर होता है, वो हम यूज करते हैं। तो वो हम आप एक कैसेट कहते हैं, ICT मेथड होता है, उसके अंदर ब्लॉट पेपर डाला होता है और ब्लॉट पेपर को पहले से ही हमने एंटीजन में उसके अंदर फिक्स्ड है पूरी ब्लॉटिंग पेपर के ऊपर। ठीक है, अब हमने करना क्या है, पेशेंट का सीरम डालते हैं, ये 5 मिनट में टेस्ट हो जाता है, इसके लिए कोई भी सेंट्रीफ्यूज नहीं चाहिए होता है, रूटीन टेस्ट है। आप ओरल फ्लोरा से या सेमिनल फ्लूइड से, आप किसी भी फ्लूइड से, बॉडी फ्लूइड से इसको परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं, स्लाइवा से परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं, आप इसको कंप्लीट ब्लड से यानी होल ब्लड से भी परफॉर्म करते हैं, सीरम से कर सकते हैं, आप प्लाज्मा से कर सकते हैं। आपने करना क्या होता है, पेशेंट का सिंगल ड्रॉप जो प्रिकिंग नीडल होती है, जिससे हम प्रिकिंग नीडल से जैसे शुगर टेस्ट करते हैं, इस तरह का प्रिकिंग नीडल होता है, उससे हम नीडल से प्रिक करते हैं, एक ड्रॉप पेशेंट का लिया और जो सैंपल वेल होता है उसके अंदर डाल दिया। ठीक है, अब ये वर्टिकली खुद ही रन करता है, यानी ब्लॉट पेपर है ना, वो एब्जॉर्ब करेगा। जैसे टिश्यू हम कहीं पानी गिर जाए अगर उसके ऊपर टिश्यू रखते हैं तो क्या होता है, वो थोड़ी देर में टिश्यू वो नीचे जो जितना भी पानी गिरा होता है उसको एब्जॉर्ब कर लेता है। तो ये भी क्या होता है, जो पेशेंट का जो सीरम है वो लिक्विड मीडियम है और जो एंटीजन है वो इम्प्रेग्नेंट हुई है उस ब्लॉटिंग पेपर पे, ये रन करना शुरू हो जाता है। रन का मतलब ये है कि जो ब्लॉटिंग पेपर है वो एब्जॉर्ब करना शुरू कर देता है। अब इसके ऊपर लाइनिंग बनी हुई होती है। एक कंट्रोल है, इट शुड बी पॉजिटिव। ठीक है, कंट्रोल का वेल अलग होता है, उसके अंदर बफर डाल दे। बफर क्या, बफर एक मीडियम है जो कि हमारा जो ब्लड है उसको और डाइल्यूट करेगा और तेज तेज रन कर देता है। ठीक है, उस बफर के अंदर कंट्रोल के लिए पॉजिटिव एंटीबॉडीज पहले से ही मौजूद होते हैं। ठीक है, अब बफर से क्या हुआ, ब्लड का एक ड्रॉप जो है वो 2 टाइम्स डाइल्यूट हो गया है, तो ब्लड जो है वो तेजी से भागना शुरू हो गया उस ब्लॉटिंग पेपर पे। तो अगर HIV1 पॉजिटिव है तो उसके ऊपर रेड लाइन आ जाएगी, और बफर के अंदर मतलब क्रोमोजेनिक डाई भी डली हुई है, और अगर HIV2 पॉजिटिव है तो वो वाली रेड लाइन आ जाएगी, और अगर दोनों नेगेटिव है, पेशेंट नेगेटिव है HIV के लिए, तो कंट्रोल शुड बी पॉजिटिव। तो ये एक इसको रैपिड टेस्ट इसलिए कहते हैं कि इसको कोई भी परफॉर्म कर सकता है, इसके लिए किसी भी किस्म की हाई फाई टाइप की टेक्निक नहीं चाहिए, इसको खास किस्म का टेम्परेचर नहीं चाहिए, और ये मोस्टली हम परफॉर्म करते हैं जब हम कैंप लगाते हैं ना। ये हम रूटीन में जब बेनजीर HIV कंट्रोल प्रोग्राम शुरू हुआ था तो हमने क्या करा था कि ये कैंप लगाए जाते थे। कैंप ऐसे लगते थे, संडे के दिन हम गए, हमने 1000 पेशेंट एक लोकेलिटी में ये ICT मेथड से कर लेते थे, और जो पॉजिटिव आता था उनको रिपोर्ट पॉजिटिव अभी नहीं देते थे क्योंकि इसकी सेंसिटिविटी कम है थोड़ी ना, मगर ये चीप है, हम इजीली कर सकते हैं, हम अपनी लैब में भी कर सकते हैं। हम अपनी क्लिनिक में भी कर सकते हैं, हम सब जगह कर सकते हैं। तो पेशेंट का बेसिकली एक थोड़ा आइडिया हो जाता है कि 90% चांस है कि पेशेंट HIV पॉजिटिव है। तो हम क्या करते हैं, उस पेशेंट को बुला के उसका फिर प्रॉपर सैंपल ड्रॉ करते हैं, देन वी डायरेक्टली गो फॉर इलाइजा। अगर इलाइजा में भी पेशेंट पॉजिटिव आया, अभी भी हम उसको रिपोर्ट नहीं देंगे, क्योंकि इलाइजा में भी कुछ एरर है, उसकी कुछ फॉल्स नेगेटिविटी या फॉल्स पॉजिटिविटी आ सकती है, 100% एक्यूरेट नहीं है। देन डायरेक्टली गो फॉर द वेस्टर्न ब्लॉट टेस्ट, क्योंकि पेशेंट को इलाइजा के लिए पे करना पड़ेगा, लेकिन इलाइजा के लिए हमें, वेस्टर्न ब्लॉट के लिए हमें पे नहीं करना, क्योंकि जो एड्स कंट्रोल प्रोग्राम है वो वेस्टर्न ब्लॉट डायरेक्टली खुद ही परफॉर्म करती है। तो हम उनका फॉर्म लेंगे, पेशेंट का सैंपल लेंगे, HIV की रिपोर्ट लगाएंगे, और वो हम ट्रांसपोर्टेशन मीडियम के साथ उसको ट्रांसपोर्ट कर देंगे। वो खुद ही उसका इस्लामाबाद सैंपल हम ट्रांसपोर्ट करते हैं, तो इस्लामाबाद से 2 दिन के बाद रिपोर्ट आपकी आ जाती है। अब आप पेशेंट के लिए जस्टिफाइबल है कि उसका रैपिड टेस्ट भी पॉजिटिव है, उसका इलाइजा भी पॉजिटिव है, देन फाइनली उसका वेस्टर्न ब्लॉट भी पॉजिटिव है। अब और कोई और क्वेश्चन, कुछ और क्यूरी? आप ये देखिएगा, ये हर छोटी बड़ी क्लिनिक पे रैपिड टेस्ट या इम्यूनो ब्लॉट टेस्ट या ICT इसको कहते हैं हम, इम्यूनोक्रोमेटोग्राफिक टेक्निक कहते हैं, ICT, कैपिटल में ICT लिखा हुआ होता है, तो उसका मतलब है कि ये हमें परफॉर्म करनी है। और कोई क्वेश्चन बेटा? नहीं है कोई क्वेश्चन? ठीक है बेटा, मैं मीटिंग लीव करती हूँ। अच्छा जी,
ओके मैम, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।